G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I've just popped the camera on because I'm doing a bit of a journal chat today. I'm not going to do any journaling, I'm just going to have a bit of a chat with you about the current state of my journals. I've got condensation on my desk, great. And just what I'm using currently, at present. I guess I'll just pull it out of the drawer. I mean, well, I don't know what... Now I'm just confused about what I am actually using. It's hard to know. All right, well, I'll let you know. This one I can't really show you a lot of because it is Virtual Voyage 10, which I have announced is our final virtual voyage, and it's called Decade, and we'll be going through the 10 years of art journaling. The whole art journal journey that I've had from 2015 up until technically 2024, but I'm sure, you know, we'll touch on anything from 2025 as we get to the last bit. But it's 5 weeks. It's starting kind of mid to late June and goes through June into July. It finishes just before my birthday, or like on my birthday. Not quite sure. But which is July 27th. So it's that summer block for Americans and that winter block for Australians. I don't know what it is for the rest of the world. I'm sure you fall into one of either of those categories. I can't really show you a ton because, you know, obviously it's a lot of secrets going on in here, but I have done a bunch of things and it's already coming together. So I'm really, really ahead of it just because it's going to be the biggest, most comprehensive virtual voyage we've ever done. And because it's the last one, I want to put, you know, the absolute most effort into it. I always do, but I just want this one to go off with a huge bang. So that is what I'm working in. It is one of those... where is the other one? I don't have the one that I used handy, but we did Daisy Ween, if you remember. You can kind of see it under there. This was one of the test books that I used to see how the paper was. This was the book that I printed with all the prompts in it. You got them from Amazon, and I drew through the entire Daisy Ween. Oh, you can see the little prompts in there. So you haven't used all the pages. So that's what I used because I had a whole bunch that I tested media in, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't waste any of them. There's another, I'll show you what it looks like. Here, this is the one I used for my Hala workshop. That's how I put it all together, actually. Lots of scheduling things, lots of tests, lots of study, research, practicing things, finished pieces in here as well, randomly. But yeah, that's what I use so that I, you know, don't waste all of those test booklets, because I think I bought like 5 of them, or maybe even 6. I've used one for a mermaid journal. Is that one close by? You've seen that one. They, oh, here it is. That one was a hardcover one. Love this one. I don't know why this is close by. This is technically finished, I think. I mean, there's some blank spots. If you really must fill in this section, I guess you could say it's not technically finished, but I believe this is mostly finished. Did I ever flip this? I don't think I did. Well, we'll flip it now because we're having a journal chat. This was the hardcover version of this, so you can see it's a bit bigger, and I put a plastic sleeve on it, and then did my Mermaid 2024 in here. It was super fun to do it. I'm actually getting ready to do my Mermaid in one of these abandoned inserts, but absolutely loved doing it in here. I did one each day, but then I did a whole bunch of extra ones, just, you know, whenever I felt like being in here. I was so taken with the whole journal that it was just really inspiring a ton of extra creativity. Don't you just love it when that happens? Like a little creative frenzy takes off and you're just doing the most. I love this. I love that the sticky tape literally just erased everything on that receipt. I even wrote in here just in case it does fade away. I enjoyed the I enjoyed what it was. Wrote it down so I'd have that memory. You know, if I wasn't so spoilt for choice with journals, I would just keep a journal like this and then keep coming back to it. Because every now and again, like I just want to write a little something. I'll write it in here, just on a spare little bit of journal. And I'm actually kind of taking that approach with these abandoned inserts. So when we flip through that, you'll kind of see how I've adopted a super maximalist approach, but it's also like in miniature. It's terrible to show on camera because it's just so small and it's in the tiniest little nooks and crannies, but I imagine that if I just didn't have many journals, like I kind of had this one and that was it, that's what I would end up doing. Like if I wanted to come and draw, I'd probably just draw in this little space here, or do a little bit of stamping. You know, I'd probably get my little stamp. Where is she? Let me just grab one. I haven't even been using my acrylic block lately. I've just been using my hands. I'm so lazy. But it's great. Oh, the cat woke up. Heard me laughing. I'm not in one of those fussy eras, you know, when you're in your era where you want to fuss with everything. I'm out of it. And I'm writing a lot too, which is so unlike me. Give her a little bang or a lovely little bob. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to be doing anything in this video, but there's no rules that say I can't. It took over. I wanted to just start drawing. Put an extra little mermaid in here. There you go. She can live here. Seashell bra. All right. Give her a little eye. Kind of want to use my, what is this? Brush pen. This is gray. It's not super dark. There's a darker gray than I want it to be, but it's not like the black one. A bit of shading. Might even add some little wisps. Yeah, so I think this would be more than enough for me for creative playtime. The only thing is I am so spoilt for choice, and over those 10 years I mentioned earlier, that decade of art journaling that I've done, I have amassed a small fortune's worth of art journals. So I'm never really, trying to save space, and I'm never trying to be economical about my journaling. So it's okay for me just to, do a couple of things and then move on. But like I said, if I were really just kind of committing to one and I only had this one beautiful journal and I didn't mind keeping it for a long time, because some people like to switch it up too. It makes them feel like they're actually moving through something and, they're like a new fresh journal. And a lot of the time, if you are doing big pieces and suddenly you've only got these small spaces, it is irritating. Like if you wanted to draw this big, you just can't do it in this journal anymore. There's nowhere else to do it. You'll have to draw on top of something else. Again, I don't mind that. So yeah, I guess in an alternate universe, I have next to nothing and one art journal, and I would absolutely just hopefully make that work. But I think I've always been too curious to do that. I would just like to think that I would, maybe. Not that there's any virtue to it. I mean, having one journal or having a million journals, I don't really think there's much of a difference. I don't think one makes you a better person than another. Although I will say, just having a million to have a million is a little not worthwhile. I'd hope that if you had a million, you were at least working in all of them. Or getting a start on a bunch. You can keep a few for later when you want to start something fresh and new, but yeah. You should be working in them all. They're gorgeous. They have lots of gorgeous paper. Such a fresh opportunity each day to try something new and creative. Anyway, so this was my mermaid journal. Loved this. I guess I did keep it close because maybe I was going to just start working in it randomly, but all of that to say, it's an old Daisy Ween test booklet. And I also have, this is my Midori, I want to say B6 Slim, but don't quote me on that. And this is Stream of Consciousness. You might have seen this recently on my YouTube channel. I did this exact spread on here, I think. And then I just do some Stream of Consciousness art journaling in here, which is really lovely. I skip every other page, and I've always imagined myself going back through and gluing the pages together just because I don't like the bleeding. Like, I don't really want to work back to back like that. And it's such a huge book, like, it's going to be fine. I was originally going to skip this page and then start working on, like, this spread, because I was like, oh, well, I'll just rip out every other page. But then I realized I'd still have the backs of these two pages. So luckily I never did that, because I thought I'd, really figured it out. But I would have just lost pages for no reason. Yeah, there's not much in here. I've done my stream of consciousness journaling in other art journals that are a bit bigger, but I do like to kind of keep this small one handy and just go for it. Oh, I just feel like having a bit of a scribble now, actually. I love how I said I'm not going to do anything in this video, but I feel like I'm going to end up getting each of these journals worked in for some reason. This made me think of a heartbeat, you know, when you have the thing, the heartbeat monitor. And now all I can think of is hearts. Draw some hearts. It's my stream of consciousness. Okay, well now I feel like actually doing it. I'm not going to, because I do want to talk through my other journals just while I have you, but I'll color these hearts in and then be done with it. Come back to this another time when I have to dump out all my thoughts in a very creative, artistic way. Okay, so that's a B6 Slim Midori, I think. I don't know. My Hobonichi Techo 5-year journal. This already has 1 full year in it. Flipped that, so there's a nice video of that for you if you want to go see it. Obviously got the 2nd year going in here. I haven't been doing a ton in here, I'll have to say. You know, there's a good portion of it filled out, obviously, because we're in April. But by not doing a ton, I mean, like, I haven't been drawing a lot on this side. A lot of it is just photos and stickers, mostly photos. I actually don't know if I've drawn anything in here. From memory, I don't think. Oh yeah, I've drawn a couple of things, but it's like a couple. My first 5-year Hobonichi has so many more drawings in it, and I would like to draw a little bit more in here. I just rarely pick this up to draw in because I have so many other options. So you almost have to kind of intend to do it. It's not one that I would just pick up and be like, oh, I'm going to have a bit of a play. I'll just open this journal. And I do think it's because it's difficult to work in. Like, you know, if you're here at the beginning of the journal, you've always got to prop yourself up because it's so high. You've got to prop yourself up to work in it, and it's a very small space. And I always think, you know, well, I've got 5 years that this can be filled out over. So if I go and do a whole picture on this, what's going to happen over the next 4 years? Like, maybe I need that space. I've kind of gotten over that, but still, I think the reason I don't typically just kind of pull it out is because it's okay to work on when you're kind of in the middle, and still it's quite like high to work on. Not until I would say maybe August. August onwards, it gets a little bit easier. So I do think mostly I just don't pick it up because it's a little more difficult to do art in. But obviously I can put all of my photos and my memories in here. And you've seen that. And this is what I guess I really wanted to talk about, my abandoned journal. My abandoned insert, I should say. I created a whole bunch of these Traveler's Notebook inserts back in 2017, and I kind of abandoned them. Like, that's why I've called them the abandoned inserts. And a lot of them had work in them, but it wasn't a lot. Or there was just some random stuff. I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to use them for. And this was way back in the beginning where I was figuring out what journals I liked using, what papers I liked using, if I wanted to be a planner and an art journaler and a scrapbooker and everything and put it all together. How would that work? And, you know, sometimes I just think it wasn't until later on that I became a bit more free with, like, you know, putting in these big bulky items on my journal. And that was really because I did the jumbo journal and I had space for it all. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to put this pin in here. I'm going to put this paperclip in here. And it really didn't bother me. And then I realized, well, I liked journals with less pages because then I could really bulk them up a lot. So this has more pages than I would still like for something that I wanted to put a lot of, you know, ephemera into. But I figured since it's already made, I just rebound it with thread. I didn't even do a good job. I went through the staple holes that were already in there, just kind of wax threaded it through. And I just started working on these again. I have a whole shoebox full of Traveler's Notebooks. And I would say, I wonder how many there are that I still have to work in. Let me go grab some. Here is the shoebox. There's a Barbie doll in there. All right. These are a couple of junk journals, the original garbage journals. Here's one, here's one, here's one. Here's another. I don't believe that's a handmade one. I want to just get out the inserts. I've got to move my dolly. Not Traveler's Notebooks that I've just used already, because there's some of those anyway. Must be this too. Let me just get these out. Volume 2. Interesting. I believe that's already finished. Yeah, some of these are done. Done, son. Okay. Okay. I think we're onto a full bunch of them here. But see, like, this isn't a handmade insert. This is a regular Traveler's Company notebook that I just didn't use. Apparently I painted the cover and then let it go. But let's go through some of these together. Oh no, there's so many actually. Maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I'm going to turn myself off the idea. All right, I think that's everything. Chuck this away. We can choose a mermaid one because I do want to work through one for mermaid. So before I go through any of those, I've completed one of these already. I did it in February and I thought I was going to get through all of this in March, but I didn't. We're still in April. I'm still going, but this will most likely be done by the end of April because I've really filled up every corner of it. And like I said, working in miniature and filling up every single space. Can you see how tiny these little these little passages are? If I can find a little space and I want to do just a little bit of writing, I'll put it down in there, like a little bit of space in there. There's really, you know, kind of no empty spots up here and behind here. This tiny little writing in here, all across, all around the border. I mean, it's just everywhere. So it's been nice to kind of write in here. I only do a lot of writing in my 5-year journal, and like I said, you know, the early days, it's not super decorated, it's just kind of like an empty journal, which some people like. I always love when things are full. I love when things are kind of bursting with creativity and life and color, and it attracts me more, you know, back to this than I would just to some empty blank journal that doesn't really have a lot going on. So this is more appealing to me when I want to write something. I want to grab this and I want to write in here my little thoughts. But it's great because a lot of what I track in my 5-year, you know, it's a lot of thoughts too, but it's a lot of things that happened, you know, kind of chronicling my life. A lot of this becomes a lot of feelings or even just things I'm working through in my head. They're not all great either, so I wouldn't encourage you to read them unless you want to know my deepest, darkest thoughts, but it's a lot of chicken scratch as well, so you can't really, I can't even read half of it. But I like to vent out a lot of things in here and kind of go through some of just my feelings about things. And then just random things that stick out to me during the day, like using the microwave is a chance to do a small task and use the countdown as a timer. That just happened the other day and I thought, oh, that is something I do, but it's so random. I don't know if I'll ever remember that. Like, what if one day I just forget that I ever did that? It's just kind of funny to me. And maybe practical. Maybe you need that advice too. If you've ever set a timer for 2 minutes, waiting for your noodles to cook, you got 2 minutes to go and, I don't know, stack the dishwasher or fold your socks. Just choose a random meaningless task that would take about 2 minutes. Even if you don't finish it, 2 minutes applied to something else is better than just watching it spin round and round, unless you just need to tune out like that. But yeah, I've just been writing everywhere really. Pia Maria. So this is all done. Even up to here, it's still all done. I put some writing in here. This is all done. I think I'm up to here. But even this, there's not really any extra room here. I've got this little card that I could write on. This one's all done. I've got this space that I can use and this space that I can use. Yeah. So there's really not a lot extra I can do. I could do a little bit of extra journaling in this. Maybe put some stickers in if I felt like it, but I probably wouldn't draw anything extra in here. I mean, I say that, but then I started stamping over everything last week on YouTube. So this should be finished by the end of April, and hopefully I'll flip that for you on YouTube. You know, I always say hopefully because I don't want to promise anything and then not do it, but this is what I've been using predominantly. Every time I go to pick up a journal, it's this, my abandoned insert number 2. And I just love it. I love it. Have been loving that whole experience. But from what I know, whenever you've got the motivation to do, like if you're going on some little creative tangent, you're on a little frenzy, it's usually the most motivating things. That's why I always tell you to go and chase it down. This is an insert that is falling apart that I obviously did my first Very Mixed Media in, so don't know what I'm going to do with that. This was a handmade one, and this was a sample that I did in the handmade one. Goodness, I used to make these so neat and care so much about the final product. You would not catch me dead trying to figure out how to spread all that out now. And I bet half of this doesn't, yeah, look. This is just quotes. This is not even me journaling. There's some journaling here, but also I read back in a lot of those earlier journals, and I don't know who I was writing to, but it's like I'm writing copy. It's not me talking like me. It's not me putting down things that are even truly reflective of, you know, the way I think about things. It's like I was just presenting this information to my journal like it wasn't even a part of me. I don't know. It doesn't matter that much, but it does irritate me sometimes that I want to read back and I want to see what I was really thinking in 2017. But from what I do remember in life, I wasn't having a great time, so maybe I don't want to. A little flip book we've got going on in here. Something you might see again in Virtual Voyage 10. Wink, wink. Had a great time with that. The tag doesn't have to be perfect. Had to tell myself that all the time. Look at these divas. Yeah, this is definitely an option to bring back. Not a lot of paper in this, like not a lot of usable pages, which, you know, I'd get this filled pretty quickly, so that's not a great contender for Mermaid. I guess we could put all our contenders right here. These ones aren't good ones, though. This is not a handmade insert, so I wouldn't be picking that. It's just a black Dilutions one. Here is, I think it's all black and white. So this would kind of be easy to distinguish between the old and the new, because I could just do everything new in color, but I wouldn't set myself with that parameter, I don't think. Yeah, everything's in black and white. I don't know, it's a contender. This is not a handmade one either. This is a traveler's notebook insert. So, nope. This was a collage kind of journal. Like I did little collage clusters in here. I don't know if I made a video about this. I feel like I did. So I was really into these little clusters of collage at one point. I love this. I think there's so much potential with this, but again, not a handmade insert. It is a traveler's notebook one. I'll come back to that at some point, I'm sure. Now this one was handmade. Yeah, you can tell the handmade ones. I put so many random things that don't go together. I just had all this ephemera. I wanted to use it, but like it's all Disney and this is so random. Like, what is this page about? Obviously about some kind of travel journaling. And all these strips. A lot of this is cardstock as well, so it's very hefty. Random papers. This is all pretty blank. So this one would be better as a bit of an art journal, really. There's a lot of blank pages in here. This one is definitely a contender for Mermaid. I don't know what I would end up doing about these pages, because I wouldn't want to see Goofy if I was doing Mermaid. But look, I've even taken the time to give him a drop shadow, so all that hard work gone to waste. Anyway, there's a contender. Now, I don't believe this is handmade either. I want to say this was a... this was an insert from a butterfly book, the Jane Davenport ones. Yeah. Oh, look, an old tag. I need that. I think I need this too. Well, that's going over there because that's a no. And this is also another butterfly book. I think this was a project I did, all the ways to butterfly your butterfly book. How clever. I sewed all that. I like feeling it. That was cute too. I like that little idea. But that's a no. It's not handmade. This one I think is also a traveler's notebook. So I guess a lot of what I'm seeing is I used a lot of the traveler's notebooks I had and then didn't finish it. So I should probably go back to some of them at some point. Oh, there's a mermaid in there. But I did hand make some. I think this one is a handmade one. Yes, because I printed that. Oh, this was This is a black and white version of the one that I already showed that was kind of grey. So I think that'll be... Where is it? It's gone? Oh, here it is. There should be a grey version of that, yeah. The grey was easier to work on top of. This one is a little bit more colouring book vibes. In the end, I did decal these. I used to sell these handmade inserts. I don't know how many I did, but I know I almost broke my fingers trying to decal all those edges. And I still have that decaled ruler that I never use. I should get rid of it. Oh, this was my ideas for Jane Davenport design team. My little journal. How fun. This brings back memories. Lots of memories. Ah, the mosaic tag. Oh, she's a mermaid too. That glossy accent sticks to everything. All right, well, can't use that. This is a handmade one. So this is another contender. I would have to go over some of these. This is super random, but things that I got from back in 2017 when I was doing the design team stuff, were a lot of people that were obviously following Jane Davenport and had found me through that design team. But then after everything kind of went haywire, I don't remember, but a lot of people got very cross with me and then just kind of left, and I never heard from them again. So sometimes when I look back and I see cards that I'd been sent or little postcards or stickers, I have to kind of, it sounds so crazy, but I go through my Rolodex of like, okay, was this did this person hate me after that? Did this person have, like, you know, I got a lot of DMs, I got a lot of people that were very upset with me, and a lot of it I've just kind of forgotten about. So to be fair, when I go through this, sometimes I wonder if it's just not better to cover it all up. And I am sorry if you're not someone that I had a falling out with, because I'll probably end up covering it up. I just don't want, on the off chance that it is someone that ended up hating me after all of that, I don't want to just be displaying their stuff. Like, I don't mind the Jane Davenport stamps that I drew over. I mean, I might work over those too. I had some of that stuff in my other abandoned insert. But yeah, it's such a weird thing because I look through it and I just think, oh, probably better off just getting rid of that. I don't think they'd be offended, but I don't know. I don't want to reopen that can of worms if they were still upset. This is another one, but I don't know. I feel like this one I didn't make, but it would be an option maybe. I guess I don't care if I didn't make it or not. If it's an empty, you know, traveler's notebook with not a lot of pages, I guess it's a contender. This one I did make. Well, this one would be good. Love what's in here already. We could turn her into a mermaid. We could turn some of these into mermaids. Oh, I love this tag. This one's one of my favorites. I'm actually going to pull that out. I need this for Virtual Voyage 10. Okay. Now washi tape is stuck down like you could never believe. All right. Whoops. What are you going to do? And these manila tags were the absolute best. I don't know where they came from, but they took wet media so well. And the manila tags I bought once I ran out of these did not. And I bought like 10,000 of them, so I still have that same box, and I still use them all. I'm so committed to it. I probably should have just gotten rid of it and tried to find other ones. Not all manila is made equal. All right, well, that's that. Put you over there. Thank you. This is a good option, I think. Oh, I could see her being a mermaid too, and I want to draw over their faces. She could be a mermaid. I really feel like it's this one. I feel like she will be my mermaid journal. Let's put her over there. Okay, more tags. Let's some stuff. Blank pages. Okay, we've got a lot of blank pages here to work with. Oh, this is good for a mermaid as well, this squid. This one's falling apart. You know, I don't hate this option as well. This one I'll put over here. We've got 2 top contenders. This one is also handmade. Don't know why, but I used the flimsiest cover on this one and all cardstock in the middle. Should be the other way around. I guess I was just trying to reinvent the wheel. Like, it's so thick I can barely open it. Card is like, it's like metal. There's not a lot going on in here too. This one I don't think I would want to use. Yeah, that's a no. Okay, well, we've got these 2 abandoned inserts that we'll be picking. Oh, I got a couple more. I'm such a liar. This one I did not make. I've obviously done some Christmas in here. This one I did not make. I think I bought it on Amazon because I remember this stitching. No, you know what? Maybe I did make that. I don't know. There were some that I bought on Amazon and then I learned how to make my own. Maybe I did make this one. This one's an option because it is all watercolor cardstock. So I could do all my mixed media in here. I'm just not loving that though. So I guess not. And here's a black and white digi-stamp book, which I think is finished. Looks pretty finished to me. There's no point bringing this one out. Look at all my digi-stamps. All right, well, that's not an option. We got these 2. I wonder. Here, I feel like we've got some random stuff that we'd have to work around and stuff that doesn't really relate, but there are options to turn some of these into mermaids. And like I could take this out. And there's a lot of stuff already on here. How many pages is it? We should start with that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't really go over that though. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 23, 24, I guess, if you're going to do the covers. So let's just say 24. 24 options to do mermaids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. I think it's going to be this one. I think I will have to rebind this one and just choose this because it is 31 mermaids and I'd rather have a few extra pages than not enough. Oh, but I really like this one too. Maybe I could just shovel the other mermaids into smaller spaces. But like, does she already count as one? I don't think so, but where could I put the rest of her? Might have to have like a bit that folds down. I don't know. And like, she's already really done, but that's a Jane Davenport thing. I'd have to paint over it. I mean, it is painted over, but I'd have to change it up even more if I wanted to disguise it. No. It's going to be this one. This will be my Mermaid 2025 journal. Yeah, there's so much potential here. And a lot of this is mixed papers as well, so that will be a fun little challenge. And there are some stuff in here I could use. The face. This, we could just turn into a mermaid. It's a fish. We've got the squid as well. I think it's definitely this. All right, well, I'll keep this one out. The rest are going to go in my box. And we'll come back out whenever I want to use those. But there are so many. These are only the ones that I thought I handmade. There's actually other ones in there that are other travelers' notebooks. So you can see I really went through a phase where I thought I was going to figure all that out. I mean, some of these are finished, so it's fine, but that's what I was talking about earlier, just a million art journals. But if I only had one, I imagine it would be something like this. Just love this because everything fits in here. It's big enough that it all fits in here. I love the hardcover because it just feels so sturdy. The paper was terrible, but it was fine because you make it work anyway. You put other things in here, you stick it in, you just use the watercolor. It just looks bad. It doesn't matter because nothing matters. Love that. I love that vibe. Anyway, that is my little journal chat for today. Oh, I've obviously got my planner as well. My tracking stars, where are they? Hello, are here. Red all the way down. Love to see it. Lots of dance going on. I filled these with some photos because they're kind of empty pages that I wasn't going to use. So I did full page photos, just of the family, cats, portraits, and then obviously got all my planning in here. There's so much going on. I've been budgeting like a madman, so I'm always in this every 5 seconds to write down everything I spent, down to the cent too. I'm really back on my budget, so that's all going well. Love to have a journal to keep track of that. Oh, my dance one. It's not here. I accidentally left that at work, but I have my little dance passport journal, and that's really cute too. I'm always fussing about in that, writing down my ideas. But yeah, this is really it for me. The 5-year, the planner, and the abandoned insert. That's kind of every day. Now that I'm planning my workshop, I've got this one out, doing all my plans in here. And every now and again, you know, stream of consciousness, might pop back in this one. I bounce around. That is my little video for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I just wanted to have a bit of a journal chat, let you know where I'm at to at this point, where I'm at at this point in 2025. You know, I check in every now and again, just in case things have changed, which they haven't really, but yeah. Love to know what you guys get up to as well. So let me know what your current journal stack is all about and what you use them for. I'll read those in the comments, and I will see you again really soon. Until then, bye.